Well, welcome again, Aries. It's October 2014. I'm Dadhichi, and what an intense start to your month, I've got to say. You know, for most of the signs this month, we're going to have some very interesting celestial phenomena affecting us. And the one I talk about straight away up till the 4th of the month is the midpoint of the moon between Mars and Pluto. So what we have here is a real driving intensity. These are your ruling planets. Mars is your main ruling planet. Some astrologers think Pluto also has some connection to your star sign of Aries, but this combination with the moon is at the upper part of your horoscope, the first few days of the month. And that upper part of your horoscope has to do with your work in particular. So there's a real drive, a real intensity there. And you have to be careful of that because a lot of people aren't going to be able to handle that sort of, firstly, that level of intensity, and secondly, sustaining it for so long. I know the moon moves rather quickly, but that we do see that you have that ongoing presence of Pluto there. We see also on the 5th of October the retrogression of Mercury in your 8th house. Again, that's the natural house of Pluto. So this is real research orientated stuff, and retrogression of planets gives them a lot more power. For you, Mercury is ruling your 6th sector of work and your 3rd sector of the mind and communications. So I think you're ferreting out a whole lot of new stuff here. You know, the 8th house is a transformative house. We do see some even further intensification of this around the 8th when you have the Sun in opposition to Uranus, and this will take place in your place of relationships, that sector of relationships, personal relationships, where you've got Venus, Sun, and also the karmic point there. So there's a lot of energy there, and these two sectors of your life that I've just talked about are in great tension at the moment. The career sector versus your personal sector. And then an even greater intensification is that total lunar eclipse that's going to occur on the 8th. Now, interestingly, that's going to occur in your sun sign of Aries. So this is very, very significant. And the eclipses unleash a lot of energy. And for you, the moon is your 4th ruler, which has to do with your emotions. So there could be some pent-up emotions there, stuff you've been burying deep from your past. All of that stuff's likely to come out. But don't all be sitting there biting your nails for the 8th, because the eclipses sometimes work over a period of weeks and months. But let's just say that this is the commencement of a new cycle for you, where a lot of these pent-up energies, these repressed feelings, these unresolved issues with I guess, females generally, but people as a whole, will start to be resolved in due course. There's, again, more intensification there around the 9th with Venus in the right angle to Pluto. This can give almost obsessive input to the thoughts and the feelings that you're having. So it's necessary for you, I guess, especially in this first half of the month, to learn to step back a little bit and not take things too seriously. The period of the 12th to the 21st, I've made a note here, there are again quite a few aspects, but that shifts particularly to the public relations zone of your horoscope. The focus there will be on your most intimate partnerships, business or personal. And we've mentioned in some of your previous readings the current transit of the North Node, the lunar node, which has to do with your karma. So you may be coming to a point in your relationships at this time of your life where you've got to make some fairly big decisions. Or for some of you that are in those relationships, you may need to finally accept that this is the way it is. And I'm sorry to say this, but perhaps this is the best it's going to get. So in a sense, I'm getting a feeling for you, Aries, that for some of you anyhow, this could be a case of really opening up and starting to accept rather than resist the changes. You know, those Pluto energies indicate lots of transformation, lots of movement internally into those areas you don't normally want to look at. So yeah, between the 12th and the 21st, a lot of dynamic energy going on there. Then I think this cycle is still going to bring more of that energy on the 23rd, the 24th. You've got the Sun and Venus moving into the 8th house, again Pluto's house, and we've got a solar eclipse on the 24th as well, all taking place there in that 8th sector of sexuality, those deep hidden feelings. You're really going to be working a lot on that area at the moment, Aries. And for some of you, if you're not prepared to embrace it, it's going to cause, again, the resistance. We talked about that in the last series of videos. Resistance is the cause of pain. My suggestion to you, to see this month out in the best possible way, is to just embrace it and study what's going on internally and with your relationships in this, I guess, a spirit of adventure and openness. By doing that, I think you'll come through this and gain a lot more wisdom. I hope to see you here next month. Of course, I always mention my website, astrology.com.au. You can get more detailed information there, the daily readings, a lot of free readings, and of course, if you want a more personalised reading, astrologers like myself and some of my associates are there to help you. Take care. Bye-bye.